Hi there, and thanks for joining me. My name is Lisa Tabor, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator coming to you from Ontario, Canada. Just thinking about everyone today. Every time you put the news on, all you hear is COVID-19. And I know that a lot of people are getting stressed out and feeling kind of downright scared, I think. We own a quilt shop, as some of you know, in a town about a half an hour from where we live, and we're going into our third week of not being able to be open. And it's difficult, you meet customers over the years and they come into your shop weekly or in some cases daily just to say hi and check in and, sit down and have a tea with us. And we think about these people every day. It's difficult. It's difficult. A lot of our customers are in the older generation. I'm not going to say elderly, but, a lot of our customers are, say, 50 and 60 and over. And, these are the people that you worry about the most. Or people with, we have a new wave coming in of young mums with, little people, and you worry about them too. Like, we have a brand new grandchild. She's 5 months, and you worry about these people. But all we can do is stay home, wash our hands, and follow the rules, and this will flatten and we'll all be able to go back to normal. So just know, that Glenn and I are thinking about everybody, and we're reaching out to you guys. We miss our customers. We miss our store. We miss our staff. We have a great little staff of 5 ladies, and they're amazing. And so if any of you guys are watching, my staff, I love you guys. I miss you. So anyway, let's get on with our card here. So today I'm going to be making a little happy birthday card. I got the new, let me grab my flyer. The Ornate Garden Suite, which is coming live actually tomorrow. It's the early release for the Ornate Garden Suite. There's a whole suite. There's 2 die sets. There's 2 stamp sets. One is sentiments and one is a floral. There's a new embossing folder, which I'm going to be using today to make the top part of this card. And some beautiful ribbon, which we're also using. And some little gilded gems. They're little gold. Let's see if I can find mine here. Little gold faceted gems. They're really cute. We're not going to use those today, but I used them on a card the other day if you saw my video. And a beautiful, beautiful package of DSP, the designer series paper, which I have right here. And these are the papers and the colors that coordinate. And there's a new color coming out called Bumblebee. And as I mentioned the other day, I think it's this little gold color. I'm excited. Yeah. So the pre-release starts tomorrow, April the 1st. And if you sign up to be a demonstrator today before the end of the month during celebration, you can actually order this whole suite as part of your demonstrator package. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. Give me a quick message or an email, and I can hook you up, as they say. And if you do sign up today as the last day of celebration, not only will you get $165 worth of product for $130, you will also receive this sweet little paper trimmer, this beautiful little package of designer series paper, as well as a stamp set of your choice from the spring mini catalog or the annual, the large catalog that is current right now. Now this expires tonight, so if you've been sitting on the fence and you've been giving it some serious thought, today is your last day to get this hostess, or not hostess, your package of goodies from Stampin' Up! If you sign up as a demonstrator. I'd love to have you on my team. So today, let's get going with this card. So we're going to cover a few different things. We're going to cover, I've been on an embossing kind of jag lately. So we're going to be doing dry embossing with an embossing folder today. And we're going to be using the Ornate Floral embossing folder that is in the Ornate Garden Suite. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, love it. So the other day I was fooling around with it, and I actually put some ink on the raised side of the embossing folder. So this is, I think this is Balmy Blue, and I put Balmy Blue ink right onto the folder, and we're actually, in the next couple days, I'm actually going to do a video with that. And then I embossed it, and this is what I got, like a tone-on-tone little floral. And then I also did it on vellum. I just ran the vellum through the embossing folder. And isn't that pretty? Really pretty. So, we're not going to do vellum today. Well, we are going to use vellum today, but we're not going to do that. Another thing we're going to do as well is we are going to stamp on vellum. And we're going to create a two-dimensional little word here. And I do have a few birthdays coming up, so I think I'm going to, where's my happy is down here. I'm going to show you how I did that. That's a great little technique, and it just really gives dimension to what you're doing. So this die set is called Well Written Framelits. And these are all of the words that are in here. Isn't that awesome? There's actually a little floral, a couple of little floral details, 3 little flower dies, as well as a bird, a heart, and an exclamation mark. So this is a great little set. I don't use it as much as I should. But I was rooting around the other day and I found it and I thought, oh, I'm going to play with this. Okay, so we're going to use the happy, where's my happy, right here, for this card. And I'll show you how I made this particular element. So I've got my happy, I've got my embossing folder. Now for the card itself, I'm using Very Vanilla. So your card base is going to be Very Vanilla. 8.5 by 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4, and that's going to be our card base. So I can go ahead and just fold that. So grab a bone folder here. Okay, so there's our base, and I have a piece of vellum that is oh, it's a little long. I'm gonna trim it. I need it to be I need it to be 5 1/4. So I'm just going to, how big is this? Yeah, I'm just going to take off maybe 1/4 of an inch. And I'm actually going to eyeball it because this doesn't go as big as my big trimmer, but it's really handy. There. Close enough. If I have to trim it later, we can, because I have the tool. And we also need a piece of Very Vanilla. Is that close? Yeah, it's pretty darn close. I may have to trim it just a smidgen, but. So we're also going to need a piece of Very Vanilla, but I'm going to emboss the whole piece because I can make 2 cards out of 1 piece of Very Vanilla. This one is 4 by 5 1/4. And then if I cut it into 2-inch pieces, then I can make 2 cards. So I'm just going to run that through my Big Shot. Now, you can see I have a blue plate and just my basic Big Shot platform. And the reason I'm doing that is because this embossing folder is a 3D embossing folder. These are the new embossing folders by Stampin' Up. They're a little bit thicker, and they won't go through the machine if you do it like the old ones with 2 plates, 2 of the cutting plates. So I'm going to just use the basic platform and this blue plate. Now when you run them through, you always run the folded edge through first. It's just basic physics. If you try to put it through the other way, the pressure of the rollers could push your 2 edges not at the same time, basically. I'm not sure how to explain it, but if you were to do it with the open end first, they wouldn't necessarily go together. And if you did that, you could damage your embossing folder. So here's our embossed piece. Isn't that stunning? Oh, love it. Okay, I'm just going to put this aside. We're going to need this again in a few minutes, but right now I'm just going to put it aside. So we have this done, and I'm going to cut it into, I just want to measure this. I think it's 4. Yep, it's 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut it into 2-inch pieces. So now I have enough to make 2 cards. So we don't need the embossing folder anymore. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out my word happy on my Big Shot. So I'm going to use a product that is retired, unfortunately, but you can get this pretty well anywhere. It's a double-sided adhesive sheet. So it's actually kind of like sticker paper that you can make stickers out of. So I'm going to adhere this. Ugh, sticking. The joys of live TV, right? Okay. So I'm going to put this in here. I really don't want to fight with it, so I'm going to take this glue off of here. I don't know I've never had that happen before. All right, so I'm going to place this in here. And I'm going to trim away the parts that aren't stuck to my cardstock. There. Alrighty. That's a bit sticky. I'll have to clean my paper snips. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my Big Shot again. Okay, and this time I'm going to use the magnetic platform and 2 plates, the 2 cutting plates. So I've got my adhesive sheet. Like if I peel this back, this becomes like a sticker. Okay. So I'm going to place my happy onto here. And I'm going to cut out 3 of them. So there's 1. Now I want to do one in terracotta tile, but I also want to make this into a sticker. So I'm just going to take my my sticker paper. Flip that over. Now you could do this with just glue, but I don't know about you. I'm pretty messy when it comes to the liquid glue. So anything I have, if there's a tool that's going to make my life happier and easier, I'm on it. Okay, just make sure I've got the sticky part behind. And I'm going to run that through the Big Shot. And there we go. Done. That part is done. So this is the most work for the whole card. The rest of it is pretty easy. There. Let me get rid of this. Clean up my mess. So I got a happy. And there we go. Okie doke. So we're going to create now this little element here. I'm stuck. I have everything stuck to me. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to do is peel the back off one happy, and I'm going to layer it right over that one. And there is a bit of wiggle room, like if you're trying to layer it exactly, it does smoosh around a little bit, so you can actually just layer that right on there. The next one I'm going to peel. I'm going to lay that on top as well. Oops. Ah. Helps if you have it the right way. Happy goes this way. There. Okay, and now for the colored one, same thing. I'm just going to peel the backing off, and I'm going to just place that right on top. Make sure everybody's square here. It's the quilter in me talking. Everybody's square. Everything is square. Okay, I'm just going to lift this one just a little off. Beautiful. Okay. So there we have our element, but I want to make it look like it's an epoxied something. Okay, so now we're going to take our Versamark. Versamark is a clear, sticky, gluey kind of an ink. And we're also going to take our clear embossing powder. And so I'm going to just grab a pair of tweezers, and I'm going to press the colored side into the Versamark. I want to make sure that it's all coated with the Versamark. And I'm just going to grab it and drop it into the ink. Not the ink. Into the clear embossing powder. Good Lord. Okay, and I'm going to grab a silicone mat. And I'm also going to put the lid on my embossing powder because I didn't yesterday when I was doing this card, and I had embossing powder everywhere. I'm just going to dip that again. It's not as covered as I would like it to be. All right, so I'm going to place that there and close that, and I'm going to grab my heat tool. Now I'm using a silicone mat because it's impervious to heat. So I'm going to just put my tweezers there so it doesn't blow away on me. And you can see it start to change color there. But all I'm doing is I'm just liquidating the clear embossing powder. So it makes the terracotta tile look brighter and shinier. There. Isn't that cool? So cool. Now you can see my mat is a little bit raised from the heat. As soon as it cools down, that will just flatten. So I'm going to take that off of there. Put this over here. Yeah, so yesterday I didn't put the lid on my embossing powder and I had clear embossing powder all over my desk. What a mess. Okay, so we can get rid of that, and now we can start to assemble our card. That's the hardest part is done. So I've got my card bases here. And I just want to see where I'm going to put my top element here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some Terran tape and I'm going to put it on the back of my embossed piece. Just along the bottom. And then I'm going to place my, oh, you know what? No, I think I'm good. There. So I've got my Terran tape there. And I'm going to put my vellum where I think I'd like it. And then I'm just going to lay this on top. Oops, square there. There. And you can see here, I just need to trim. I have a little smidgen here that I need to get rid of. Okay. So now I'm going to take the terracotta tile ribbon. This is from the Ornate Garden Suite as well. There's terracotta tile and old olive, two of my favorite colors. And I'm going to grab a mini glue dot and I'm going to just place one right at the back where the two pieces join. I'll pop that right there. I'm just going to wrap this around the front. I'm sort of just disguising where the join is. It's not crucial that it's totally covered. Okay, make sure we're straight there. And then I'm just going to take a little piece and I'm going to tie a knot. Actually, you know what I'm going to do first? I'm going to grab my sentiment. I'm just going to pop another glue dot under here. Oh, no, I'm not, because I have to tie my bow. Okay, so I'm just going to grab my Stamparatus. And I'm going to use the birthday from the Well Said stamp set. And I'm going to put my card in here, and I'm just going to line it up at the edge here. Now, I wouldn't normally... Ah! That's something you don't want to happen. It's a good thing they're taped or they would have broken. So I'm lining it up with the edge of the line on this paper so that if it does shift a little bit, I know it's flush against the edge here, but it's also on this line so that I know that it'll be straight. So I'm going to put this here. I'm just going to set this up so that I am happy with the placement when I get it done. So I think there will be fine. Make sure it's straight. So you can see there's lines behind. I'm using the grid paper to kind of line up the top of the word birthday so that it's pretty straight. Okay, and I'm going to use the terracotta tile. So I'm going to re-ink it. I'll just place that on there. There. I like using the Stamparatus for vellum because if you slip, even it's a little bit slippery, and if you slip even a little bit, it smudges, and then trust me, you won't be happy. Okay, I'm gonna let that just dry. Actually, I'm gonna dry it with my heat tool because it does take longer to dry because it's not porous. Just gonna give it a little shot with my dryer here. You don't want to get too close to the vellum because it will, it could curl. And that should do it. Okay, and then I'm going to take my ribbon and I'm just going to put a little knot. Like I didn't put a bow there, I just put a little knot. It's just as effective and it's super simple. So I'm going to put this here. Just make a little square knot. Oh, I got glue on my scissors. Should be using my ribbon scissors anyway. There. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to stick my happy that we did with the embossing powder right on there. Now you want to press that really well into that because it won't adhere that readily unless you really give it a good press in there. Move that over, and I'm just going to put a little glue dot behind to keep it in place there. There. So there's the front of our card. Let's get this glued on. Now I'm not going to put any glue on the vellum. If you wanted to, you know, put a few little dots over the words, you could. I'm not going to. I don't think it's necessary. I'm going to pop that up a bit though because it's showing on the front. There we go. And then just center that onto the front of your card. You can see my ribbon is showing here just a smidge, and I'm going to push that up with my, take a pick tool. There. So simple and elegant, so pretty. Now for embellishing, I'm using the 2019 to 2021 in color faceted dots. These are available in the annual catalog. And I'm using the terracotta tile. I have to look that up. Oh, it's alive. There. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Now for the inside, now this is sticking up a little bit. If that really bugs you, what you could do is put a little glue dot behind your little gem there. If you put glue anywhere else on here, it's going to show. So if that bugs you that it's sticking up like that, it doesn't bug me. I actually quite like it. But if it does bug you, feel free to stick a little glue dot behind that. And for the inside of my card, I've got a piece of very vanilla here that is 4 by, is that right? Yeah, 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm gonna grab a piece of scrap paper here. And I'm going to stamp off, this is the daisy from the Ornate style stamp set that's part of the Ornate Garden Suite. And I'm going to take the terracotta tile. I'm going to ink up my little daisy. And I'm going to stamp it off twice because I just want a very faint little flower in there. Okay, that's the inside of our card. Ink everywhere as usual. So now I'm going to take my inside of my card and just pop it right in there. And there, done. All of the products that I used today will be listed below with a link to my 24/7 online store. Thanks so much for joining me. Keep washing your hands and stay safe. And thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Bye.